Tomorrow on the show, it's going to be the Poundcake Sports Break, new episode of the Poundcake Podcast. Thursday, the great John Waters will join me. He's got a new book he's going to tell you about. Next week on the show, short week for us next week, I'll have Hailstorm tickets. Do you like the gals fronting your rock and roll? Lizzie Hale and Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless are going to do a show at Blossom in July. I will have Incubus tickets for you. Incubus with Sublime with Rome out at Blossom in August. And AWOL Nation. Remember them? Remember AWOL Nation? Sail! They are doing a show at the Agora in October. AWOL Nation and Bad Flower. So still a lot of great shows coming through. I bought my B-52 tickets for Washington, D.C.
There he is.
And I don't think my wife's going to go. I think I'll be flying solo to that one.
You're going all the way to Washington, D.C. to see the...
They're going to be in Jersey.
I had to go,
that's right.
I had to go out of state. I don't think they're coming here. I had to go out of state. And I can drive, because Gwen's like, well, they're playing Vegas. I'm like, I don't want to fly to go. I can drive to D.C. Hey, Will, hello.
Hey, what's up, Alan? Hate the show.
Thank you. What's going on?
Oh, I just wanted to say you got to look at this whole abortion thing in a different way. Now, I'm all about if people want to have an abortion, they can have it. But the Republicans are looking at it like the people who are being aborted are more white people. Because, in all honesty, you got to look at it almost cynical in a sense, but you got to look at it with reality eyes. The people in the black community, they want to have babies because they get more back from the government in taxes. Now, by outlawing abortion, that's setting a standard where white people are not aborting the babies. So it keeps the white race a little more in the United States than all the immigrants coming in and everything else.
Will, you're referring to this great replacement theory nonsense?
It kind of really is if you look at it.
It's not, but that's. I mean, How are we replacing white people with immigrants? It's not a zero-sum game. And by the way, there are more white people. You realize there are more white people on welfare than any other group will.
Well, yeah, because there's a majority of them.
No. I mean, like the rate of people per capita.
Yeah,
kind of per capita.
There are a lot of per capita.
I can see that, but that's not how the Republicans are looking at it.
People, they say to me, they go, well, listen, I'm pro-choice, but it shouldn't be as easy as making an appointment to get your nails done. Well, that's the hard part about liberty, though, is who would decide? Yes, your case is you get the abortion chip. You don't.
But you also, those same people want it to be that easy to get a gun. They want it to be as easy as making an appointment to get your nails done to get a gun. They don't think there should be any hoops that you have to jump through for that.
This is why...
and those are used for what? Killing people.
This is why it's so thorny.
It's frustrating. Infuriating.
That's a nice way to put it.
I mean...
I think so many people thought, this won't... It's been the law of the land for a long time. Nobody's going to do anything with it. And they assume, why would you ever, just because something has been one way, that it's not going to be another way, ever? Again, it's only been legal for 50 years. In the grand scheme of history, it's not a long time. And they've been playing the long game. They've been waiting to do this for a long time. Alan, you like the B-52s because you about to B-52. You son of a bitch, I'm about to be 51.
That's pretty close to 50.
It's staring up 52s. Shoot, sure, but hey, Ken.
Hey, how are you?
Ken A.
I have a question. It's an abortion question. My question is, what's the leading cause of abortion?
Is there one?
Prom.
Yeah, unprotected sex.
I'm sorry?
Unprotected sex. Now, I'm pro-life, but for anyone else, they can do what they want. That's their choice. But the main cause is unprotected sex. Can't we just expect adults to behave like adults and have protected sex?
I agree with you. And
it's not just the women, it's the men.
I agree with you. Yeah, you would certainly hope so, right? But there are schools that are like, they still don't teach kids how to use contraception and blah, blah, blah. But mind you, Ken, the way that this Supreme Court is looking at all these kinds of cases is they very clearly, down the road, want to do away with contraception access. Now, I don't know if that
ridiculous.
I don't know if that...
I don't agree with that.
Well, there you go. I mean, I don't know if that just refers to the pill. I mean, they're not going to ban guys from buying condoms, I can't imagine. They probably mean abortifacients or chemical forms of contraception. I don't know. A lot of this is putting the cart before the horse. But it's...
I mean, I'm not to interrupt. I am more like left or right-leaning, but I'm common sense. I mean, the gun control thing about how they're trying, because not to get off on the tangent about that, there should definitely be some kind of training you have to get a gun. You shouldn't just be able to carry a gun concealed just because it's what you want to do. I mean, if you have to get a license to drive a car, you sure as hell should have some kind of training.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who feel that way. Listen, hey, thank you, Ken. I appreciate the call.
More liberal and all that, but I'm not one of the idiot conservatives out there that can't see things from both sides.
Well, I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the call.
But you didn't laugh at my prom joke, so.
I did.
You did, but Ken didn't.
Hey, let me give you some money here. It's the last chance today for you to go fund yourself. It's $1,000. Listen closely. Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword money at WMMS.com. That's money. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Alan. I'm just going to start with, this is a very dumb scenario. I'm admitting that out.
That's my favorite kind.
So, if hypothetically my wife and I determined that it was an unwanted intruder growing inside of her, could we exercise our Second Amendment rights and stand our ground against that unwanted parasite intruder?
I mean, you both had something to do actively with... the intruder might be unwanted, but you did you and your wife did let it into the house.
All right, well, you got me there. I'm going to have to tuned now.
Right. Okay, thank you. There's Nick. Speaking of Las Vegas, we have a lot of bureau chiefs in Las Vegas. We've got Christine, we've got Christina, we've got Jason, we've got Rob. Now, when we were in Vegas, I didn't notice, because I didn't think to take notice, I didn't notice if the water there had a distinct human meat quality to it. I didn't know if it had any kind of dude flavor to it.
Gross.
Have you been reading the stories about Lake Mead?
No.
Lake Mead is the largest water reservoir in the United States, about 20 miles east of Vegas. It's right on the Nevada-AZ border, right on the Colorado River. River flows at Lake Mead. It is at record low levels. People are freaking out because Lake Mead is so low. What this does when the water levels are that low is it reveals a lot of things, like bodies in barrels that are starting to pop up.
Are like wood barrels, like whiskey barrels?
Yeah, they're aged to perfection.
Aged corpses.
Mm-hmm. Charred white
They
oak.
found a body in a barrel at Lake Mead that they think has been there since the 80s.
Oh, my God.
Based on the personal items that were put in the barrel with the person. So now that Lake Mead is receding, and I think what's the other lake? Lake Powell is further up the river, I think, and they're getting to the point where they're going to stop Lake Powell from flowing into Lake Mead because they need to conserve the water. So Vegas is it's a no shock to anyone that Vegas is constantly, concerned about water. And in the next 10 years when we're having water wars, it'll get even weirder.
Ooh, water wars. That sounds fun.
That was always the best day at church camp was Water War Day.
Water wars?
Mm-hmm.
What were the items that they found on him that signified it from the 80s? Did he have like a Simon game, a Rubik's Cube,
Merlin?
Frankie says relax.
Yeah.
Merlin.
Remember Merlin?
Yeah.
Your Honor, the victim was wearing a Frankie Say Relax t-shirt, a Right Said Fred. He was wearing Esprit shorts.
Bugle Boy jeans.
Bugle Boy jeans. They didn't.
Pant legs were pegged.
They didn't. His parachute pants were torn. They didn't elaborate on the items found, but the photo of the barrel stuck in the mud with a skeleton in it went viral because the water levels at Lake Mead are so dangerously low. We heard a woman scream from the side of the beach, and then my husband went over to see what was wrong, and he realized there was a body in a barrel. The police think that the barrel was fully intact when it was dropped in the lake. Imagine that. You kill somebody 40, and they're going to find more of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're outside Vegas, for Christ's sake. They're going to find more bodies and skeletons, and as the water level goes down.
Ooh, that's a crazy picture.
Yeah, it's wild. And the cops are saying, as the water level drops, we're going to find more human remains. I mean, we know where we are. We're in Nevada.
What kind of barrel is that?
In
like
the
a drum?
I
Like
think
an
it was
oil
metal.
drum?
Like a metal barrel
yeah.
that's been pretty much eaten away.
In the 1980s, when this got dumped, it would have been several dozen feet underwater. The top of a water intake pipe was visible. Those aren't supposed to be visible in the lakes. And so they're like, well, we plan on probably finding more bodies.
The legs were separate from the rest of the body.
Like, cut their legs off.
Well, you got to fit them in that barrel. You got to do something. So, you know.
How are you guys seeing it uncensored? All of them, all the ones I'm looking at are blurred.
No, I don't see one. I don't see it unblurred.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading things.
Yeah, reading.
Okay.
You got to read sometimes.
I found one that's unblurred on LATimes.com.
So just something for you, for our bureau chiefs out in Vegas.
Now, what did this guy do that he ended up in a barrel? That's
don't
what
know.
I want to know.
Well, he borrowed money from the wrong bookie. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to cut off your legs. He's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Sure you will. And they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
Ah, you're crazy.
And the Berlin Wall will fall.
Alan Cox Show After Hours line. If you want to drop us a message, it's 216-986-8903.
Hi, Alan. I'm calling with regards to yesterday with Mary not knowing about batteries and the whole Poundcakeism of you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Last summer, 30 years old, and let me preface this by saying I'm a research scientist. I went to Parma Public Schools. I don't know if that's a hindrance or not, but my husband and I were sitting on the front porch. A thunderstorm's rolling in. I listened to a lot of Fleetwood Mac. There's that song, Thunder Only Happens When It Rains. My husband looks at me, rolls his eyes, and says, oh, here we go. Thunder only happens when it rains. And I was just tired of his shrimp that day. And I said, yeah, actually, it does only happen when it rains. And he looked at me, and he's like, wait. What do you think thunder is? And I'm like, I'm afraid to say, because the way you're looking at me, I have a feeling I'm wrong. And he's like, have you ever heard of heat lightning? And I'm like, no, what is that? And he's like, wait, what do you think the boom is? And I said, I always thought that it was like the high pressure system with the warm air, like slamming into the cold pressure system of the cool air. And it's like that sonic boom. And he's like, why do you think you were taught as a kid to count the seconds between the lightning strike and the thunder boom? The thunder boom is the light electrifying and superheating the air. That's why that happens. And I looked at him and said with incredulity, you mean Fleetwood Mac lied to me? Stevie Nicks is a liar? Anyway, in the defense of Mary, if it's not in your purview, you don't know. Anyway, have a good day. I hope this wasn't too long. Bye.
She hit the post, too.
Ah.
Can you believe that? She hit the friggin' post.
And actually,
Science is a liar sometimes.
thunder is God bowling a strike.
That's what I thought.
So, relax.
We went bowling on Saturday.
We went bowling Sunday.
It was so fun. Just as something like to do, because there was a big library opening out where we live. Big deal.
Yeah.
I saw my buddy Dean DePiero. And then we went bowling. We're like, let's go bowling.
Bowling's
right?
great.
We hadn't gone yet. It was fun. I forgot that I'd taken an edible before we went.
You forgot.
Well, I did. I always forget after I take one, and then I'm like,
How
chugging a
much?
Corona. Like half a one.
Oh,
and,
nothing crazy.
No, but enough to like where I, I'm floating down the lanes and I can't remember why. But I thought that it was Angels Bowling. That's what I was always told.
Bowling a strike.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a killer game, too. I hadn't bowled in a while.
What'd you get?
Well, the first game I got a 115.
Okay.
Which, for
Not
me,
bad.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I haven't bowled in a while.
Mine was 120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second one was 96. Not so good.
You want to break 100.
Man. No, I know.
It was my buddy's surprise 40th birthday, so we were there. There was a bunch of kids and stuff.
He didn't know he's turning 40?
He had no idea.
Wow!
I know. No birth certificate.
What a bummer for this guy.
He was ticking
He's
along.
like, I'm 27.
Right. He was doing the ticks on the wall, like prisoners or cavemen. And then...
He kept moving and lost track.
Exactly. Every time he moved, he had to start over.
He didn't take a photo of the hash marks?
No, he's 40. They didn't always have cameras.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But my girlfriend who put the whole thing together, it's her husband, she went up and bowled like a 190.
That's
and everyone's
insane.
looking at her. She goes, we do Wii bowling every single day.
Wow.
Her and her kids.
She's
And I
Ernie
said,
McCracken.
But Wii bowling is still different.
That's what I said. I was like, how
You don't
are
have the weight of it.
training?
Yeah.
But literally, and she was so, what was aggravating? She was so nonchalant about it. She just walked up with the bowl, turned around, went to go cut cake, get pizza, strike.
Wow.
Like, what the hell, Ashley? You know?
Bowling is one of those things where when you whiff, you have to turn around and
face everyone?
Yes. And even if everybody stinks, you still feel like you let everybody down.
Well, there's like
even if you're individually bowling.
There's like an acting component to it where like, you know, I love bowling, but it is like everyone gets to tease you or everybody celebrates together or like, you know, you got to do something at the end of the lane to be like, oh no, oh shucks. You know, as you walk back.
Screwed it up. Sorry, guys.
One of our
much fun here I have. I went bowling. I don't mean to brag. Really, there are two types of people that go bowling. There are people that really, really love bowling. And then there are the people that are like, wouldn't it be hysterical if we went bowling? Because for most of us, bowling is the activity you do after you've done everything else. It's like, well, we could go bowling. Or we could just hang ourselves. Why don't we go bowling? No one's ever jealous when they hear you went bowling. Oh, you went bowling? Glad I couldn't make it. But bowling's great. You gotta love a sport you can eat while you play it. Never see that in tennis. Hey, before you serve, let me dig into these nachos. It's a different sport. There's an ashtray built into the bowling equipment. Poker doesn't even have that. And that hand dryer thing, if you're sweating while you're bowling, you're out of shape.